Welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And I'm slightly annoyed now because I nearly did that last video. I just recorded it and stopped it by accident in the last 30 seconds because I'm driving. It's a pain in the butt. Shouldn't do driving reviews, should I? But today I am reviewing the DVDs over there. The Fright Night remake. So Craig Gillespie's, I'm not even reimagining, but not shot for shot, but remake, Fright Night. I was going to try and review this completely separately to the OG, as it's its own film. But this is something that I've grown up with Fright Night. I don't have the ability to cleanly watch this film. Yeah, I link back to the original when I watched it. I'm almost watching it on autopilot because the story is so similar. And I'm not a proper reviewer. I'm not a professional reviewer. I don't look at the technical aspects of a film in great detail. I don't look at the fluid relationships between actors and actresses in huge detail. I watch it as a film fan. And I review films as a film fan, and this is what Body Bags is. It's reviews by film fans, and every so often, like now, I have this inability to give a clean review of a film. Like, grew up watching Fright Night, grew up watching Aliens, Tremors, all these films. There's just a love that is ingrained into me. I don't think I can ever give them a clean review because I fall back to childhood watching these. I can't control it, it's just automatic. I think most film fans know this with certain films that they have. There's this unquestionable love that they have. And so trying to review something like this, it's always going to be difficult. And it got hated on. And maybe people that didn't see the OG, very few there are, can give it more props. But I'm not going to really go through this film too much. I'll look at some of the actors and what I think, and I'll look at certain scenes which are different, and then kind of wrap it up. Not going to go too heavy. So Jerry, we have Colin Farrell. He has this suave sophistication for a vampire, but a little rough around the edges as well. This magnetism, and I think he kind of works well. I would have liked to have seen him. He's a bit young for it, but I could see him fitting in Interview with a Vampire, something like that. Yeah, like a slightly grittier vampire. But I thought he fits well as a vampire. You have Charlie, which was played by the late Anton Yelchin. Very much plays the part of Charlie. He's like, that slight awkward cowardice, but it's a really endearing character, so he does well with that. We have Peter Vincent, who is played by the rather unusual casting choice of David Tennant. A lot of people might not know him, but I mean, I'm not a Doctor Who fan at all. I've never seen him, but he's in Doctor Who for a few series, and I think they picked him up from that, probably. We have Evil Ed. What's his name? Fogel in Superbad, sorry. And I don't even remember the love interest, kind of, Anton Yelchin. Is it Poot? No, I can't remember. That's Poot. Was it Poots? She's in 28 Weeks Later. She's the daughter from that film. And there's no Billy in this, is it? Was it Billy from the original? He's kind of like, I don't really know if he's kind of like a familiar, just a friend or something. He's kind of like a friend familiar in the first one. You know, familiars normally just skivvies. But he's not treated like that by Jerry. But we lose his character, which is a bit of a shame because he's quite a good character and an important character, I feel, for the dynamics in the first one. And you kind of feel that loss a bit. it's like Colin Farrell has to burden all of that on his shoulders almost. Not to be two characters, but it would have been good having him. Anyway, this one is set in, is it Vegas, I believe? Somewhere like that, so it's kind of all new build settlements everywhere, so everything is very generic and the same. And, the mother is played by the awesome Toni Collette. So actually, you look at the cast of this, apart from a few issues, like, I think Fogel, he was cast a little bit wrong, because they were like, oh, we need someone as quirky as, I can't remember his name, the guy who played Evil Ed. But it doesn't work, because they cast someone to be like that, so you're judging him on that, and he's not that. So it's quite a difficult one in that respect for that. And yeah, Peter Vincent is actually quite different in this. He's very flamboyant, and he's very like the height of his powers. So yeah, his character's quite different. So I guess that kind of works. But it's very, very similar how the film rolls out. One thing I do like is how Jerry gets them out of the house. So in this one, actually, Toni Collette, the mother, finds out that he is a vampire. So there's one scene where she's in the house with her son and the girlfriend. Jerry wants to get in, or he wants to get them to come out. So he starts tearing chunks of turf out. You know, what's he doing out in the garden? And then tears up the gas line and sets it alight, and kaboom, we get a gas explosion, which I thought was pretty cool. A way to get him out of the house. They get out, they get in the car, they start trying to escape. Jerry's trying to use Charlie's bike has a problem, so when they're driving away, you see from behind, actually pretty cool, he throws the motorbike through the back windshield, which is pretty cool. But then this whole thing, when that's happening and stuff like that, it's like a long shot, but you can't, I mean, this is like an early long shot where they're kind of, you can tell they're in a studio and they're trying things of how they're panning around the characters, so they're in the car and they're panning outside the car, and you're seeing like Jerry trying to get in. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's not done as well as some films in the last few years, like I mean, it's a different way of doing it, and the scene was wholly different. But The Conjuring 2, sorry, my lips, you're licking them, they're really dry. It's like quite a lot minus degrees outside at the moment, so very cold out. But yeah, how The Conjuring 2 does it with James Wan is very technically very well done. It's all smooth, and the transitional periods of like going from outside, panning down and going into the house, into the room, it's really well done. And how it's done here is like a little more jerky. Oh god, it's gone out of my head, but there's an Asian film. Is it Korean? I can't remember now. Damn, it's a really good film. But anyway, there's like a fight scene in front of a car. It's like pretty brutal and epic with these guys, and how that pans around. It's like you can see this shot in that, but that was better executed. But this film was it's done like a lot longer ago, or longer ago, not that, a lot longer ago. But this was like, yeah, kind of like testing out this like panning system and everything. It works all right. It's interesting to see like director trying to do something and trying to add some more dimension to his film, just to make it like almost try and stand on its own. But like I said, it's always difficult with a remake when you know what's going to happen with a film. So it's really got to be something special for a remake. You got to do something with it, and I don't feel that enough is done with this one. The characters are okay, but again, the characters are kind of how they are from the first one, and a few bad casting choices to try and replicate people from the first one. It's on the whole, I think someone that has not seen the original will like this one a lot more. I mean, it's not a great film, but it's not a bad film. It's a pretty well made film. Stand it alone, and it's like, yeah, it's entertaining. But like I said, I have this almost inability to switch off the OG when I watch this, so it's pretty damaging, and I tend not to enjoy it so much. I think this is maybe the second time I've seen it, I think, since I bought it, which was when it came out. So I'd actually probably give this film like a 6.5 out of 10. But actually, me doing the film, I'd give it very unfair 4 out of 10. And I know that that's unfair, but it's my true feeling when watching it. I'm like, this is below average film. It's like, it's nowhere near as good as the first, but stand it alone, it is an entertaining film, which I think will be about 6.5. But when you're aiming for stuff that's at most horror fans will pick badly on it. But then the casting, you can see reflecting they went for, and how the film rolls, as it did in the 80s. It's like a horror film for younger people, like teenagers and stuff like that. So I could see it could do well, and it did okay. But anyway, I keep ribbling on enough. That's the end of my review. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye bye.